Nini Acholi, welcome back to Chaka Leb Acholi. I'm Chaka Lacam-Bura, and my segment me Kwan Leb Acholi. This is session 39, reading on Pajok Lacam-Bura subclan. Okay. Please join live, share, like, comment. We are on YouTube as Chaka Leb Acholi, and we are also on Facebook as Chaka Leb Acholi. Segment enemy Kwan Leb Acholi is within Chaka Leb Acholi. If you have any information about what I'm reading, you can leave a comment under this video or send us a private message or a DM. We'll be sure to respond. And if you would like to be a guest, please also send us a DM. If you're from Bura, please leave us comments, like, comment, share with your peers, with your community. We would love to have you on the show. Let me know if what I'm reading based on the author's research is correct or correlates with what you know as somebody from Bura, the Bura subclan of Pajok, of the Acholi people of South Sudan. Okay, I'll pull out my deck. Guys, today we're reading on a subclan called Bura. It's a subclan of the Pajok clan of the Acholi tribe of South Sudan. Okay. The day before yesterday was just an introductory session discussing where Pajok is located, which territories, which communities surround Pajok, and why Pajok is called Pajok. I'm not sure if I explained it in English so everybody will understand. Pajok basically means the land or the place belongs to Jok. Jok in Acholi can mean two things. Some people use it negatively to mean evil or the devil. Some say it to mean God or a higher spirit or a higher being, a powerful spirit. Okay, it's called Pajok because the people, the group of people migrating, have in mind, go back to the war migration that we recorded before. The War people migrated from the northern region of Sudan, some even as far up as in the Egypt territory. All Sudanic territories, the War people were basically scattered due to invasion. So they migrated following the Nile going down, and also looking for greener pastures, right? Places where they can live, where it was more fertile, where they can grow crops and feed their families, while also trying to flee from war and invasion by foreigners. Okay, so they followed the Nile, going south. Some ended up in Western Sudan, some ended up in Eastern Sudan, as far out as Ethiopia. Some actually going as far as Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Congo. And then with the Acholi people, the migration is similar because they're also part of Luo. They come from the Luo family, the same ethnic group, Luo ethnic group. So they migrated as well. The group called Pajok, we find that there's some discrepancy between Acholi people as to why they called the Pajok people. One understanding is that they are the Lokaro people, which is another tribe in southern Sudan. And when they were migrating, their chief called them the Kor people because they are from Lokoro. Okay, so they called them the Kor people. And then they claim that the chief called them Juk because Juk were collecting a group together. We call them Juk or Kor, okay? And then when they came to present-day Pajok, some claim they were called Parajok, okay? To mean that they're Lokaro people that were under that one rule, okay, from Lokara or the core people. Other Acholi people, especially the Pajok, present-day Pajok people, understand it. The Acholi that the Pajok people who have accepted the identity as only an Acholi group from Pajok, they understand it as a name they settled with because when they were migrating south, because of drought and famine, they one day just ran into this one location where food appeared in front of them out of nowhere. It seemed to be some type of a magical or a supernatural event that took place in this specific location. And because they're hungry and they were starving, they took it upon themselves basically to believe that the food provided to them was to save them, and it could only mean that it was a super spirit or a higher being that provided them this food. So they concluded that this food may have come from Jok, or to them, which is a spiritual being. Jok meaning a spiritual being, like God. Okay. So they ate the food and they were satisfied. They had enough food to feed everyone and to sustain themselves. So for that very reason, they decided that they will now be called Pajok people, meaning they belong to a Jok, they belong to God, or they belong to this spiritual being, higher power that provided them this food. Okay, so now they call themselves the people belonging to this Jok, the people belonging to this higher power, meaning God or a spiritual power. Okay, so now they call themselves Jo Pajok, or they call themselves Pajok, and the land itself is called Pajok. It belongs to God, or it belongs to a spiritual high spirit. Okay, so this is why the place is called Pajok. As we understand it, those of us who identify as an Acholi group in Pajok, present-day Pajok, we understand it to mean the land of Jok, or the land belonging to God, or the land provided by God, basically, to the people, kind of like their promised land almost. They saw it as a sign from God, basically giving them this land as a promised land, and they settled there. So that's the understanding that my family has, not the understanding of the other perspective, which is that these people are Lokara and they are from Kor, of course, and we understand that we're from Lokara, and I understand that, we believe that. But as far as the name, we don't believe that the chief just called us Kor or Parajok because of Jok or Juk to come together. We believe that because of the food provided by this magical or supernatural being that sustained that community, or sustained our community and our people. So we started calling ourselves the people of Jok, or Pajok. And that's why we're called Pajok today. And this is why this place is called Pajok, okay? So the author goes into detail describing the location, the territories, the different tribes and communities surrounding Pajok in southern Sudan. You can watch a previous video to see what I was reading. During our next session, I'm going to pull up a map, or maybe I'll do a different live right after this video, to show you the map of southern Sudan and where Acholi territories are located and where Pajok is located and what surrounding communities are there today. Okay, so you guys can all understand the landscape of this context better as we speak about that. Okay, and also following the path and migration paths of all these subgroups or clans coming into either Southern Sudan or coming into Pajok. So you guys can better have an idea. Some of us are visual learners, so we like to see pictures and graphs so we can understand what's being said. Some people can just pick it up by listening to somebody speak or by reading it. So right after this session, hopefully, if I have the time, I will do another recording showing you guys the map, present day map, and where Acholi territories are located, so you can have an idea of what I'm talking about. Anyways, he did say that there's a lot of misunderstanding and discrepancies, not only within members of our community, but also between scholars in understanding how all these groups migrated and settled in Pajok. There's also discrepancy still about the forefathers, right? The original forefathers of Pajok that came into Pajok. There were different groups. They didn't all come together. Like the Patanga people, that's my lineage. Our subgroup is Patanga. We came from Makoro. Some groups came from either Uganda. Mind you, these are the rural groups that migrated into Uganda that started coming back into Sudan or Southern Sudan. Okay. Some groups came from different places, from different tribes. Some came from Rotubo. Some came from other tribes like or clans like Obal. You guys may already know about Obal because I read so much about Obal in previous sessions. Some people came from different tribes. And we all settled as one group in Pajok. So there's a lot of discrepancy surrounding where everybody came from, under which chief, and what year they came and entered into Pajok and settled in Pajok, and which groups were considered the forefathers of Pajok, or the Wirigang, which is forefathers, right? The original founders of Pajok are the ones who still have land or have rights to land in Pajok, and those who came after the land was split up amongst these original groups were able to settle. They were able to settle only by either purchasing land from other groups or by supporting certain groups in battle, and they were giving land. And sometimes it's given to them through marriage. There's a lot of intermarriage between these subgroups. And also intermarriage between clans within the Acholi tribe, and also intermarriage between tribes in Southern Sudan as well. Mind you, there were no borders at the time, so when I say Sudan and Uganda or Southern Sudan, take it as just context information. There were no borders originally, so everybody basically were able to move freely between regions and territories until the British came and created borders up until 1914. Okay, so there's a lot of discrepancy, and each subgroup may have each subgroup may have some true facts about who they are and where they came from and which year and who led them there. Hold on, give me 1 second. I think there's an issue here. Issue with me airing on my Facebook. Let me see what the issue is. So I'm just gonna start reading. I want to see what the issue is with Facebook at the moment. Um, what is the issue with Facebook? Give me a second, guys, before I jump into the reading. Facebook is having a hard time. I wonder why. Let me see. I'm just going to jump into reading. I'll fix the issue later. What is the issue, Facebook? It looks like somebody accessed our Facebook page from somewhere, and it's not letting me air for some reason. Hopefully you guys can still watch this video. Anyways, if it doesn't air live, I'm gonna download it and just reshare it with everyone. So anyways, what I was saying is that there may be some disputes about who are the forefathers or the wirigang of Pajok, and also who has team on land in or rights to land in Pajok. Um, I want to commend the writer, Saturnino Anyala, because it's not easy doing research, and it looks like it took decades writing this book. And even then, even though he was able to vet information, what he's doing is he's engaging in discourse by sharing opposing sides of the story to make sure he has credible information to share in this book and to his audience. Even then, when you share your findings, it doesn't mean that readers cannot ask questions. And if they do ask questions, they also have to take the perspective of what the writer is presenting in his book or in his texts or in his research, not just to disagree simply because uh, you want it to come from somebody else from within your clan or uh, within your tribe or your clan or subgroup. It doesn't mean that the information that comes from maybe just one elder within your subgroup is the only correct information. Uh, to be a true researcher and a scholar, you have to take all viewpoints and take your time in doing the research. And he's done that. And he does go back and forth between opposing sides to find the right information regarding each subgroup and each clan of the Acholi people of Southern Sudan and Uganda. He's not just presenting a one-sided subjective narrative. Okay, he's engaging in discourse in his writing and within his research by taking different accounts from other scholars and also figures from that time, such as Samuel Baker, who was very involved in the community because obviously the British had came and occupied the Acholi land. Okay, so I commend him for that. If he's watching, appreciate you for taking the time to write it. It's not easy, especially since we all had left Sudan during the war, having to go back to write or find information and do your own research prior to writing this book. So great job, and thank you for putting this in a book, and we can all learn from it. And if you guys have any opposing views or other understandings, also share it. Don't get angry. Let's all talk about it and discuss and see where all these groups truly come from. Let's all learn from each other and learn about each other and grow and move forward as one community. I'll pour out my tech. I'm doing a lot of talking instead of reading. I should be reading. So I'm going to read now about Bura. Okay? Bura is one of the sub clans of the Pajok clan of the Acholi tribe of present day South Sudan. Okay, I say present day South Sudan. Remember, at the time there were no borders. Okay, all right. Bura. Okay, la chojo choni ngani. Bura tiegi dok on Martino abiro man aye ogoyo payako pamunda lamogi paliech paramol gi pakwa. Okay, yellow choni ngo agoya payako pamunda lamogi gi paliech gin duju obino gi echwa matie present day Uganda ruot ocheng la kor moy ma kelo dok odman e Sudan ma jo chwa onongo dong oworo e kabedo ma parapat kid ma wabinano la chien i bookman. Okay, anongo ni lopa jo Bura miro rubo widano totwal. Don't blame you. Okay, piman ka wamiro niang mabe kid ma Bura mi Pajok o kwere i Pajok mi achiel miero kong wanen kid ma chwa o wor kwere ka lachien wanen bene lok Bura ni kono tien loke ango. Okay, kami agigi wabineno kabedo ma parapat ma jo Bura tie iye ilobo Acholi. Okay, te kwaro pa Acholi wacho ni e moka ma pawir bunyoro o chaho kelo bedo pa luak dongo lobo mod kabedo odogo mading bodano ma kwokany. Okay, piman dana mokena otamo mi wahogi pawir ikin moha apara boro gi piera biro gin ochiro ongolo kulu achwa nyo aswa. Okay, gidonyo i pajule. Okay, dwan wacho ni dano man onongo bene loyo komgi kengi. Okay, Castellera, which is one of the authors or sources he's using for his book. Okay, and I believe he was a missionary or a white man at the time, I believe. So wajining Castellera wajo kwede ni luak dano ma oworo gi ruot megi gin bene obino gi pawir gi jomi ker mi nyuru ni gina ye dano mi kal. Okay, let that marinate for a second. Okay, so luake obino ni ning gi bino gi jomi tugi unu gi mala choti achone. Okay, yala ningani gieno bino gi laga pawir. Now if I'm pronouncing pawir wrong, please also drop a comment. Gin gi bino gi laga pawir gi tong ker. Okay, bul ker kom ker gi ibunyoro dano mano nongo luak ngeo ni gina ye lotela pa pawi luo. Okay, source in Castellera, 1950. Book better, Mochoi, 1950, about Joluo. Okay, Onyango Benel temo logo ikom jamike Pajok Bura ena wachini jo palwa jo paluo mi bunyoro oribe nyo oribo kumgi gi mari matie I ogaho gino nongo tie gi ruot megi okay jami ke ma paluo oworo kwere tie kidman min bul lotino bul adek tong tira gi kwara a wind musical instrument okay tong tira gi kwara wind instrument man wala lune gwara wala wara we'll drop comments to kunge instrument and anangeko okay apo yala source eninga onyango book bermo choya 1976 ikumjoluo okay now I got a source when pian and then I need your Julie Moko they don't care Kitty made this source well information about who they are if you're not one of them. They don't want to accept what you're saying as fact or facts. They feel it can only come from them themselves, which is okay to also write as people of that native community. But it's okay to also accept outsiders to write research about who you are based on what now their engagement within your community and the experience within their community. Okay, knowledge does not only exist in one place or within one entity. Okay, knowledge can be shared amongst all people, and you can have secondary knowledge of information and share it, and it can still be fact. Okay. Inirama Joshua o a kwere gi pawi duan wajani mo kwongo gino chiro ikulu tochi ayam okay odek okay gichiri tochi wala tochi okay oyam odek kala chien gin ongolo kulu aswa gikenyu chua obino ipajule ka ruot pajule wala pajul kati awajine maraju wajbora will leave comments ruot pajul wala pajule o jolo gin mabe la bongo loin okay that's good tekwar pachuli wajuni dano man ma o a gi pawi bunyoro gina ye luak pa ruot chua wala chua okay matien lo keni luak pa chua okay gin otimo kidman mi po kwere ikom rot megi mi achiel ka mod dano oloho nying pa chua odogo ma chik ni chua okay jo pa chua na lo ngoni chua wala chua what ira kati pronounce nying man mabe okay leave me a comment one pe wangyo ka Joshua obedo moradi e pajul wala pajule enter duang wajuni ki e pajul wala pajule okay waju kanan Joshua do opore e adek dana mokeno chiro yo tung nyango dana mokeno chiro yo tung malo ka dana mokene kono ochiro yo tung porocheng wan bene watamone jo bura mi pajok obero dana chiel ikin luak mi chua ma agi e pajul wala pajule ochiro yo tung malo kagin obino oger ikom got goro achule lumoni got pali wala pali e Kigum district matie male 20 tie mile 20 gi igulu. Okay, that's where it's located. Lo guru guru obino gi leb Arab ma tien lo ke ni boro. Okay. Yala ningo. Gibot crassellera, munu one of source better ni. Jochua nyo jochua o dak wahagi got guru guru pilokom kech. Mawa bero kanego. Mawa bero no ma obero ka nehodano marach I Mohaman. Jochua ochiro ogeri kum God la duong matie itindano mi patiro. Dano mi chua bene neno wala nen chalo gin o mar lweny twal. Duan wache ni mapuri pe otero nino maduong chua o lwenyo ikum jo patiro. Okay. A dai kin mwara a par bor gi pier beach we beach. Jo patiro oriemo jo chua nyo jo chua wahagi igot la duong. Gin oringo I atiak. Okay. I Muhammad ruot lo bai. Okay. Majo Arab o tiako nyinge ni Abu Sala wala Abu Sala. Ma nungo lawyer dano mi atiak. Okay. Ruot lo bai a lawyer jo atiak. Chief mi atiak. Jo atiak. Okay. Atiak was in present day Uganda, I believe. Okay. Gikan Jochua nyo Jochua bene o chako a yela ikum dana mi atiak. Okay, ruod lo bai mo neno ni chua nyo chua tie ka yelo luak mere endong o chwalo duan bod agala. La did ma loyo lo chat pa Arab ma tie kondokoro. Ni wek okel lo ruk ka konye no ibo ke loro ka konye gi lwen ikom chua agala ma nongo duan man ma piretek oguru achikari mere chut otero I atiak ikarama achikari o ruot lo bai o yuayo wi muny ikom chua wala chua. Okay. Gikenyu luak pa ruot lo bai o lwenya ma rach ikom chua. Macho o ringo o weko diangi mon gilotino angech. Ruot lo bai dong o pogo jami ma jo chua o weko bot lo diro ka mokene o mio bot Arab ma o konye gil mon wule lweny. Ruot o timo kid man pien chik kwaro pa chuli wachone. Jami ma o mayo gi mon miero o pok waha bot lo diro migang. Nen chalo ruot lo bai o mio nuchu pa mon gi lotino ma o mago bot Arab. Kid ma gin o bedo lo chat mi OP. Okay, so Arab ki miro no dano for slavery. Gi konyo ruot lo bai mi lwenye kom chua. Kani kagi capture jo pa chua mogo ne lo tini gi mon bol kari cho lo chiteru gindo slave Arab teru gindo slave so magi lo moni kum chua gi capture mon gi lo tina mogo ne yala o mio nujune bot Arab gi teru mon gi lo tina pa jo chua mogo o chiteru gindo slave mun lo ngoni OP gi lo bacholi. Okay, so bero lo chat mi OP inge poro jami ruot ki awobe mokene oluogo agala gi achikari mere I kondokoro. Ento dano mokene wacho ni nen chalo achikari pa agala obero I atiak. Chok dwe abichiel kolo. I dwe man duju ruot lo bai obero katelo wi muny ikom chua gi kahamo kene ma tie chok gi atiak. Okay. Ma pori ruot tie iyo mi kondokoro luak pa mari oloyo ngeye ya Tiak district gin olwenyo ikum dano madano mapol orwenyo ko sorry madano mapol orwenyo ko megi dano ma odong gi ilaktong gi atero pap mari dong okerata. Okay, dano mapol oringo odok chien ikum god la duong or patiko no lo lungo ni god la duong. Okay, if you're wondering where patiko is, okay, yala la chien luako bero katamom ni jo mari olwenyo ikum gi pien Pian road lobai tiegi win matut Arab matie kondokoro. Okay, makun dana mi mari pe miro kwa pa Arab ni mara luanyi kumgi piano nongi ngiyo ni nga road tu road lobai wunya gi Arab yala mari gi kwara Arab so luanyi kumgi kenyu manongo pori chief pori bo origa. Okay, road lobai o duo ya tiak o nongo gang o dong gi achut gi winyo and dong o lugu jwe luak patiko got lo duong. Okay, don wajini nge man chua dok otamo mi chiro kalweng ikom jo atiak nen gitirong gora loanye kom gi mare loanye kom gi ha man dong kono gi defeat jo chua before man jo chua nene no jo atiak jo pa rolobai gitie week wega wachere dong attacking wegi duri chinong for revenge give me attack jo pa rolobai munu jo atiak. Okay, excuse me, I need to cough. Come on. Okay, sorry about that. I really needed to cough. Okay, anyways, so jo chua ne give me the chin to attack rolabai ge jo attack. Okay, so gumanong don wajani nge man chua doko tama michiro kalweng ikom jo attack pien gin pe ongeo gema mari otime ikom dana mi attack ni bogi nge. They just wanted to go back for revenge, basically. Excuse me. Chua la duan bot Arab. Excuse me, I need to cough. What is wrong with me? Okay, sorry about that. I'm still just getting over the flu. So then, chua la duan bot Arab matie iobo we gino bin kakonyo gin gilwanyi kom atiak. Jo Arab ma wunyo lokman ma mit chalo kich gino bino wala bene pe okwero. Pien gin otamani ka gin olwenya matek chi digi ada gin bene nong opi wala slaves. Okay, kin ma jo Arab mi kondokoro onongo kwere Arab matie iobo obino maduong ento ikar ma gin o tiak gino no ni dana mi maridong otiro timo teach ma gino bino ye. So by the time they came there, gino bene jo atiak no gipe olur gina gadong. Okay, Mario go gino giringo so gangadong empty kar mangi bino kereni ka lonye kom jo atiak pe kichiro kapatiko galadong piano lonye kom giringo. Okay, Arab ma lo chat onongo pe miro kwa pa ochon gin mira aye jami ma kilo bodgi lonyo. Man bene gin ma owe Arab obero ka yoho wi Rodi Acholi mi loin ikingi ma weg road ma peregi kero dong o luongin ka lueng man bene weko gin nongo opi. Onyango Onyango is one of the source of his information. Book ba Onyango. Ni Onyango wajo kwede ni gin ma Arab obedo katimo ne iloba chuli imoha apar boro ipiera biro yario. Oyengo pajo wako mala chien lwako nongo ne kuch pere ikin dano pien dano mi wigang achiel luenyo gi dano mi wigang mokene labung tien lok ma kwiri luen pa omiro oweko dano mi achuli dong pe tuero ribo chingi mi luenyi kom lomon lomone magina ye Arab. Okay? Pien Arab onongo jo achuli peregi jami luen chalo lodugu. Piman gino bedo ka luenyi kom dano iwang chawa mo keken kono gi wo nyo gi cheng. Te kwar pachuli wajani inge luenyi naka jui Arab yaho jami magino neno ni be bodgi machalo lotina wobe lotina nyira mon gile mapajo bulal mi pajo chalo diangi romi gidiri. Okay, Arab obero ka negachuli labongo chikeja Lokman okela luor madit ichwiny mon ma oweho kare gi kare mon bene petuero chiro katich iporo. Okay, because the Arabs are stealing people, not only fighting against them to take people hostage as slaves, but they're also kidnapping women when they go to farm or go to a garden or go to the market. Okay, they're stealing young kids, young boys and girls, and women to take them as slaves. Okay. Ento mod actually onongo kuch matidi mano bere Mohama Sir Samuel Baker o Donya Kwede iloba chuli ineno due mi ario neno mi aboro mohane apar boro di piera biro wi ario. Baker obero ka lueng matek ikom Arab matie ipatiho ajulu ma obero momero gi riemo lotela pa Arab wako gi gang patiho. So Samuel Baker, he's one of the sources and many job booking on gini. En mo bino konyo jo chuli kenyu olonyi kom Arab mo bino inga 1872. Olonyi kom Arab giringa, okay? Pole patiko kuja kama jo chua ti ya nongone. Okay, giti akane kuja kaskil olonyi kom gine. Endong Arab giringa homa dong Samuel Baker bino, Sir Samuel Baker bino. Okay? Gin mokene mabe mas Sir Samuel Baker bino timo aye ni en omayo diangi maramo mia dek kiwi abichel manen Arab oyaho gibora chuli ka ogonya bene opi ogonya slaves mo mahogini over mia chel gipiera dek or over 130 slaves. He released those slaves and released the animals back to the Acholi people from the Arabs. Okay, and bene okwanyo agura angyo ko agura ne ngone nyo husan apar giwie a beach ma Arab onongo luenyo kwere ikom Acholi I don't know what that is. Okay. Agura gura ning, I'll leave your comments under this video. Boy. Pepi man ken Sir Samuel Baker bene o mako achikari pa Arab mi Sudan. Maramo pierangwen we dig. Okay. So all the security and military or security forces of the Arabs were captured by Sir Samuel Baker. Over 43 of them were captured by Sir Samuel Baker. Magino nongo obedo ka teach but Arab lo wodge. Mana ye gin ma. Oh, I need to cough. I'm sorry. Mara ye gin ma Samuel Baker Johnny ngo. Mara ye gin ma. Oh, wakadana o wa Johnny. Bino pa Baker. Iloba chuli okay lo kuj manok. Will manok nok. Boat lock. Tekwar pa chuli wajoni Baker o wurugi dako mere magi lungo Mrs. Baker. Mona chulio nongo mara dakani. Gimara dako man tatual. Ma weragin omia bore nying ni anyadwe wala anyadwi. Ma tien loke ni Latina nyaka ma dui wala dwe. Okay? Wala Latina nyaka pa dwe. Anyadwe. Latina nyaka pa dwe. Okay? Mona choli omio nying man bore pien dana mi choli tie giye ni dwe obedo gin mata dok mapo what obedo gin mapa dok mual karo jami mokene duju matie iwi lobo kany dwe pe obedo chal ching mawango ping kakot pere ento dwe pe wango chom man bene nyuru bodware pingo mona choli omar poro daho maleng chalo Mrs. Baker gidwe. Okay, so lo poro Mrs. Baker gidwe pian mungi ma harm gin ko. Chieng wango dana harm gin lakin dwe harm gin ko. So nyenga anya dwe. Okay, so they call Mrs. Baker the moon girl, basically. And that's supposed to be a compliment, I guess. Okay. Gigu Maraj, Kuchman pe ori in lobo, actually pianino, mi doc pa Sir Samuel Baker, Egypt or Ramawaka, mapori Kuchman pe ochung matek. Baker bedo ka yenyo dano ma miero en owek i office manien ma eno chaho i lobo actually. Mala Chancellor Baker oneno ni yo mokene dong pere ena da wera office I ching Arab. Dang. Baladara. Dana chiel ma Baker kero ni ogwa kuch iloba chuli obera achikari Abdallah Effendi mi Sudan. Okero doga Arab in charge over Acholi people. Kono ni omara Acholi people. Do chikero dogo Arab pingo. Inino due a para ngwen mi due mi a dek mohami a para boro gi pira biro we a dek Baker o wenga loba chuli o chire Egypt chur inge wot pa Baker Abdallah o bero ka teach ma be madano duchu bene o bero gi poach bore ento ara mape miro kuch ilobo a chuli oneno teach pa Abdallah gi wang maraj. Piman owekonino mo achiel Arab okero yat to ichompa Abdallah ikarama en ochamo kuon yat otuki donyo ikoma omere nyomero gi negone wao atura. Logmi top Abdallah o mahodok dano duchu. Inge top Abdallah Arab okero dano Ario I teach man. Obedo Fadul mula gi salim be chigin duju obero dano makid gi raju wala reju ma omio kare bot arab mi mera nyim gi tich a ranyi megi ikoma choli wa imwaha apara bor gi piera bor wi aboro dano mi choli wajoni rubanga pe wany manna kany kudok oduro iloba choli imwaha apara bor gi piera bor wi aboro wi apara bor gi piera bongwen wi aboro makun lobo donyo jo makun lobo donyo pa makun lobo donyo pa jo British I lobo Acholi so sini puri onyango okay onyango in 1976 man text pere mucho from history to any kidma gina donyo kide kidma Arab giring mano British obino lakin masemo baker gi mar baker lakin baker do kokera Arab in charge Arab admit jail tim gi ma be mi ario gitim gi maraj until the British gi bino gi sell a lobachuli source iningani onyango 1976 te kwar pachuli wajeni ikin moga apara boro gi piera birwe beach madana mi chua odok e god la duong nyo patira la chien kech abong wang latin nyo daho abong wang latin nyo abong wang daho oporo dana ma duong oto e kech ma oweho jochua nyo jochua ochira nyim gi yenyo cham okay so famine no bino kum jochua gina e patira god la duong by 1875 dana to ma duong chala gi chaka agi chaka chira nyim imogaman ono ruot la moro wot pa ruot leng matie ike okay imogaman bene bura mi pajok ono gin tie kachiel gi bura mi Uganda okay present day Uganda they don't mean to say Uganda at this point because it didn't exist so jomunongo tie present day Uganda bura mati present day Uganda gi bura mi pajok no gitie one people okay under road Lamoro son of Road Lang or Chief Lang his son Road Lamoro was in charge of Bura people okay gi gola duong jochua ochiro gi yinyo chum jochua ochiro gi yinyo chumi Palabek is also in Uganda present day Uganda okay gi gu marach gin bene onongone kech tie I Palabek mai nongo dano duchu bedo ma doggi otwa mata ha kech bene no ti Palabek kare no gichere Palabek yinyo chum dano when doggi otwa ha kin ma kech dong onongo tie I Palabek wandong pe wangio ka chua obero kuno pinina onyo due adi ento watamani kidma chua onongo pin otwa I Palabek gin miero obut nina chiel nyo ade keken okay ento watamani kidma chua onongo pin otwa I Palabek gin miero obut nina chiel nyo ade keken don watani ki Palabek chua or chua o makun gin woro dok kwere yo tung pin or south okay chua obino ongolo kulu achua or aswa kagin odok ogero ikom got la duong so they went back further into Uganda they went back to across Aswa and to God la duong again. Okay, imohaman gin oger ikom dano mi palaro giger kum dano mi palaro God la duong. Okay, gidok chin nen chalo dano mi palaro o ye ni chua oge kingi pe tunu gin bene obero gigin ni Joshua pe bikelo ayela ikomgi. But as we know, Joshua gibero lo loin maraj. I don't know. I don't know how long they would stay there. King God la duong. Ooh, this is long. Let me see if I can read this in 5 minutes. I have another 2 pages. Okay, kaningo. Mapori Joshua pe ori ite God la duong. Jo patira pabo gi payira ochiro olwenyo ikumgi ento Joshua so ma porgiti ko pori bogi chare loke kumdano jo gina do mo bina lonyo kumgi jo patiro pabo gi payira ochiro kalwenyo kumgi ento Joshua obo gin duju Joshua ne gitek ba gi mara lwenye kumgi tek right. Good boy, Johnny Wang, all these 3 groups, huh? Ingilwin Maggie, Donna Michua, Obero Gitamni, Katware, Mirogin, o me put my deep podjo paira, wagin, Oponye, ma wek digi, wegi, pe o will, wek digi, wigi, pe o will, yeah, okay, so. Piman lo diro chua o chualo aliaha gingi lo bore e gang la logi wagin onong look wagin onong look mong ma jo paira tie kwere. Okay, o chualo 2 of his guys, maybe security or delegates, to go to see to find out more information about Joe Payira from people of La Logi. They need information about Payira so they can attack Payira, okay? Dano Aria man ochiro bero ikin Jo La Logi gindong obero kapenyo lok maduong madok ikom Payira. Jo La Logi bene pe obero gi luoro mi gamo peny megi. Jo La Logi gamo peny duju kore gi kore mana ye gin ma oweho aliaga gi labore onongo lok mong Payira. Okay, they wanted to find out more information about Jo Payira, their secrets or their weakness, so they can attack Payira. Okay, from the Lamogi people, Aliaga people. No, I'm sorry, the Lamogi people. Okay, ingeni na rio nyo adek aliaga gi labore odok cheni gang chwa gin onyuro lok mong pa Jo Payira duju bolodiro chua ento tekwar pa chuli pe o wacho lok mung ango madano man onongo mano kan chua orweo mun ikom Payira gindong olwenyo ikomgi idok kulu abera matie chok gi gang La Logi. Okay, so Jo Payira, they live close to La Logi, and La Logi is the ones that snitched on Jo Payira to Jo Chua. Okay, so gilonye kum Jo Payira, close to Jo La Logi. Okay. Jo Chua, Nyo Chua, oboa Payira imony man, ka oriemgin wa ikulu potongo. Man bene onyuru bodwa ni Jo La Logi miero owachi bot aliaga gingi Jo La Logi miro o waj bot aliaga jolalu miro gi waji bot aliaga gi la reme ni jopa yira mara gore I dok kulu abera okay gin bene onyuru wang chawa madano man gore yeah. Okay, so they snitched about their location, the time they like to come out and go at Kulu and all that stuff. That's how they were able to use that as for points for strategy to attack Joe Payira, and they were successful in their attack. Okay, madue deko karo Joe Payira dok ochamo chiro. Madue dek okaro Joe Payira dok ochamo chiro. Gino dok kalweny ikom chua. Kido kalweny ikom chua ikom gala duong. Ento gigu maraj chua pori oboy gina ka. They didn't learn. Gidok do kalweny ikom jin. They lost again. Takwara pa chuli wache ne. Ilweny man payira onego iya min la lweny dao. Okay, payira onego iya min la lweny dao pa ruot la moro michua. Onego dao pa ruot. Even though they lost, onego dao pa ruot nyinga no min la lweny. Lokman omero liro ikom chua. Kari bed gin obedo dano ma lo lweny totual. Dang, ginego dao pa chief aga. Okay. Tie nina mo achiel ajwaha omio tambo lotina wobe michua. Ni kagin orware ikom dano mi payira. Kima tien ma pol gin karogi igang chua. Mi yenyo yo. Mi chat. Miro gin onek ngarachiel. Keken. Ki ikingi. Kari bet gin tie dano ma ramo apa wiario. Lotino chua dong okero lok pa ajwa kamani chwinge. Ma peo tero nino ma duong. Cho mi chua orware kom dano mi payira. Apa ma tie kachiro ipabo. Giyo mi chat megi kid magin nagajwi timo. Jo chua dong onego ngara chiel ki kinge kin ma joha ochiro gin owero dano abong ngwen moken ochiro chila chen jo chua onyang ni lok mi win tie matut ikin jo patiro okay matut kom jo patiro pabogi payira pilok man owero jo patiro gi pabo bene odogo lomone pachua kikany road ochieng lokor moy mi bura pajok onongoni kwa pa chua bura tie dok lwen keken endong okwanyo dana mi bura mi pajok kagin ochaka wot makun gin oworo dok kwere yotung malo o north east gin ochiro o ok igot ago ka magin onongo jo bobi biri gi pagaya dong tie iya ento dana mokene wajeni jo bura mi pajok opore gi kom chua bura gi ipajul wala pajule te kwar pajuli wajeni chua bura ma modong chen gino Gi got a duong gino chiro I palabek. Don't talk it dog palabek. Pien jo bura mi pajok I popum gi agi chiro pajok jit gina rargi jo nga bobi biri gi pagaya. Okay. Now these are the wiligang manong really get pajok I guess. Nga jo bobi biri pagaya. So bura gi chiro gi rara kide. Kide. Okay. Gikan jo chua dok ocha a yela. Ikom dana mi palabek. Mnongi dok palabek. Munu chua mi bura chua. Ma porgiti you gina President Uganda gichero nongi palabek. Gichaka doko yelo dana palabek. Okay. Gichaka yelo loko kum dana mati palabek. Ma weko dana mo kene. Twingi pe obere yom. I Mohaman wrote tongo moy. Ma nongo tie ike. Ikara ma wrote tongo moy. Oneno ni pin odogo liet. Okwanye dana mi chua otero agoro. Okay? Ruot logulu mi agoro o jolo chua mabe kala chin dwan wajni. Ruot logulu onyomo la koro latina nyaha pa aliaga mi chua. Okay? So Rod mi agoro nyinga logoro onyomodogo one of the daughters of Chua, which is Aliaha. Remember, one of the delegates more Chua la nyimi nena pin to get information about Jopayira. Daughter pero nyomodogo rod pa agoro. Okay. Mano kan bene o caught wood pa rod logulu o burugi adira Darapa abot so there's a whole mix up, okay? The brother of Aliaha, remember one of the envoys, Mochiro Canero, information on Payira. Dara pero nyomoro, doto omine, Darapa omine, Oburugi Road, Oburugi Wood Road, okay? So the nephew of Aliaha, no, I'm sorry. It's confusing. The sister-in-law of Aliaha, Oburugi's son per road Lagulu of Agora. Okay? A chick Quaro Pacholi, La Quaro Acholi, La Quaro Lungo Adira Dok Mine. Okay. Gitung Chel Adira Lungo Road Lagulu ni Ore. Acholi waje kwere ni chet kari bed ikwot itepi nyo ibut gi maro itepi pori tuch waga ada inge nina manok rot lagulu o wunyo lokma o temekin o kot gingi adira lokman don okela lewich madit borot ma weho en omio chik ma tekni dara mi logot miro omak wode okot onegwa. Wow. He didn't like that his son slept with Aliaha's sister-in-law. Nick's son better. Okay. Iloba chuli ruot ka mio chick mat kid man dano miro team la bongo nguru ma ada logot otimo kit mar ruoth owacho. Gino chiro omako kot ka ochobo gi tong' ikore. Chiyo kot pe oto. Oringo woko gi tong' ikome. En oringo okane iboro ma tie chien gi gang. Okay? Kala chien nero okot ma owinyo lok man en otamo chut ni okot miero obed iboro. Ki odigo mokene nero okot ochiro iboro ka ma onongo okeyo mere tie iye. En dong obedo ka medo wang bo. Yeah. My son is awake, excuse me. I made a tear on a quiet, Gigi. I don't one more page. Inge chabira chill wrote logulu open your dano how caught a da otter. Nyo poritie makwa. Chi dano waja boreni o caught o chobo chi oringo gitong ikome. Gindong pe gingeo ka enoto nyo poritie makwa. Nen chalo ruologulu o winyoni nero kot ochiro. Iboro ka medo okeyone. No kamado okeyone. Okay, kamado ne boneri. O mada. Kamado okeyone. Okay. Mana yegin ma o weka ruot o mio chik ma tek ni. O yin kama dano man ario tie ye. Luaka winyo lopa ruot. Chigin pe ochiro ka yenyo kot. Gi otieno. Ma pinyo yure. Ngara achiel. Odonyi ot kaburu. Okay? Okay, so bugichererie enongo tieno gichero kaburu. Gio digo mokene ma winyo la kwal pori kok ruora waja borlo kwena weko cho dano la kwena pa ruot dong ocho dano ginino luak tuju ogore idikal pa ruot ikarama dano ogore ruot dok owacho bot gini dwan migero ni uchit ka yenyo kot ginero ne ka unongo okot miero unek en waka ki odigo menu chut dano manok ay oyero kumgi mi wot ka yenyo kot dano mandong okwanye tong yin omako yo machiro iboro kari bet ruot omio chik ni onek wode waka dano onyang la chien ni ruot chunye ochako chwe pichik ma en omio ni onek latine. Te kwar pacholi wacho ni la chien ruot logolo ochako yubo lokmi lweny ikom chua pien gin ma owero en onego latin mere. Okay, so he didn't want the Chua people living with them anymore because it caused him problems and it caused him to have to kill his own son because of Aliaga's sister-in-law. Okay. Ento gigum mabe la Chua chill milogot ochiro giwo menu bot Aliaga ka wacho borni wu a woko gi kan oyoro yot pin maru di miero pe onong luak mi chua kan ruot logulu mi agoro miro chobo chua pilok mi pa wore okot Aliaga mo wunyo lok man ochwalo dwano yoro yot ikindano chua dong o awa chut gi wo menu gino chiro kabedo magilungo o cool. Okay, inge nino manok rut lamoro otamo ni kidma tiyo dong oboyo wako wode aliaha miero o make chut aliaha odago ruot chua nyo ruot mi chua ruot aliaha dong o kwanyo luak o tere kom got Turkana. Okay, matie tung poro ching mi nam okura gikany ruot aliaha o ruare gila chat o pi ma nyinge Ahmed Hussein a chat man onongo bene tie dok welo I gang kany eno bino gi kalongo te kwar pachuli wajini gi odigo achiel Ahmed Hussein o chiro ka dwaro udu nyo ostrich aro mi patet aro mi patete aru mi patete. I don't know what that means. Chima en puri tie ka wot la cho magi lungo turukumoy mi okul obero ka libo Hussein gi angech. Turukumoy onongo miro nego Hussein ento gi gum mabe eno nena turukumoy ma pori pe otimo gin mo ikome. Hussein okwanyo lo dugu gi ching la tich mera achiel ka ochielo kwere turukumoy ikore. En oringo gang giret ichinge ma Hussein odugo pajo gidwa turukumoy obero ka penyo dano mokere ka gin ng'eyo Hussein. Dano ogamo bore ni gin ng'eyo Hussein maber to twal. Turukumoy obero latin achiel mi dok ot okul. Ahmed ma owinyo kidman en dong obero katamo ki ichunye kene ni kare ma okaro ang'ech ruot aliaha owajo bore ni en loyo wa dano mi okul chi ka dano mi okul tie ite loch pa ruot aliaha pingo kono turukumoy miro nego ene. Excuse me. I need to cough. Okay, sorry. Ni piga turukumoy miro nego ene kan juni wengi tie under chief aliaha dong. Kono gin gitili wotong gi chief aliaha. Okay? Hussein dongo chwala duan bot Arab lo wore ni gin miero obin ka mako ruot aliaha otera I ot kol mi odrupele. Lokman otime la chien ruot aliaha to I ot kol nyo maybe buch wele ngane. Ka omine ma gilungo lorem o mako ke. Kasolera wajo kwere ni inge to pa ruot aliaha omine ma gilungo lorem o mako ke. Muhammad dok ot adek matino pa imira gim gi kohi oribe ikombura. Okay. Ikarma chua o awo hagi ya goro gin obedo kawot kabedo maparapat kala chien gino chier ingo Martin gin tie ye Uganda. Okay. Eko armi achuli Uganda wacho ni chua bura nyobura chua mi Uganda tie gi dok ot abiro kidman. Nam okura Mochwini, Omia Anyim, Orom, Kitong, Okuri, Gi Okul. Dok or achiel bene tie gi ruoth mere ento ruoth county nyo jaho inam okura. Krasolera otemo gonyo tien lok ma ni bura ento ka waneno mot wanungo ni lok bura ka waneno lok mi bura tiene duong iwi gang achiel ento tien mapol dana mi achuli wacho ni bura aye dana mi kal ma tien lok ke ni dano ma tie gi bul ke tong ker gi kom ker mi ariyo miero waket iwi wa ni bura duchu pe obino gi ichua bura tin wanungo dano mi bura tie i Pajok Panyikwara Magwi Lokoya Lokora gi Agoro mi Sudan dana mi bura mokene bene tie i Patiko Payira gi Madi Opi i Uganda dana megi kari giluongo gi ni bura logmi kaka pere ikinge ni kwanyo bura mi Pajoke dano megi kari giluongo gi ni bura logmi kaka pere ikinge ni kwanyo bura mi Pajok gi bura matie Uganda gwok nyo aye lok mi wat tie ikingi pien gin ducho bino gi choa bura ipa wi bunyoro. Okay, so in regarding team gi god mi bura jo bura mi Pajok piregi team nyo god according to his findings. Okay, agi kany atikodo lok mi bura I look too much. Okay, so today we read about the Bura people. The Bura people came from present-day Uganda and migrated back into Sudan. They originally obviously came from Sudan and migrated into Uganda. Eventually, some of them made it back into Southern Sudan first, while they left others in Uganda. The Bura people are many. And they have different subgroups within Bura, whether within Pajok or within Uganda, present-day Sudan, or present-day South Sudan. And they can be found, the Bura, the people from the Bura group, original Bura group, can be found amongst the Bura of Pajok, amongst the Bura of different places, including, what did he say here? There's so many places that you can find Buddha people, okay? But the ones we are concerned with and focus on is the Buddha of Pajok. We know that there were some Buddha that were still in Uganda or present-day Uganda. They were in Palabek. They were in Payira. And some of them are in Pajule or Pajul. So many different places you can find them, these people. Okay, in Uganda, you can find them with subgroups such as Nam Okora. There's other subgroups called Muchwini. Some subgroups called Omia Anyima, Orom, Kitong, Okori, Giokul. These are different subgroups of Buddha within present-day Uganda, okay? They're part of the Chua Buddha people, okay? So they're also divided into many groups. They're not just called Bura. They just have their own subgroup names, okay? But they are called Bura people. And Bura just means people from the lineage of royalty, people that have uh, Bulker, Tonker, and Comker. So basically saying they're royal people, okay? That's what Bura means. Some people have different meanings for it. Yeah. So I believe in Pajok or in Southern Sudan or in South Sudan today, present day South Sudan, you can find Buddha people in different places. In Pajok, where they are considered a sub clan of the Pajok people of Acholi in South Sudan. You can also find Buddha people amongst the Panyakwara people. Okay, they didn't all settle in one place. You can also find Buddha people in Magui, Lokoya. You can find Buddha people as part of Lokoro, which is a different tribe completely, and Agoro, Sudan. And some Buddha people are part of Patira. Some of Buddha people are part of Payira. Uh, some of them are part of Mari Opi in present day Uganda. So they're all over the place basically, but in Pajok, because we just focus on Pajok now, the clan, the Choli clan in present day South Sudan. Okay, these people, this group of Buddha people in Pajok, do not have team or land. They're not. They didn't at the time of this research. They didn't have a territory that belonged to them specifically, and they didn't have any mountains, any known significant mountains that basically centers their origin within Pajok. Okay, so they didn't find any of that. So that means they came late and they settled with other groups in Pajok. So they're not original owners of any territory within Pajok because it says they do not have team or got. They don't have land or territories or mountains, known mountains that belong to this specific group based on where they settled. Okay? If you're from Bura or different places that the Buddha people settled, please leave your comments. My son is awake and talking a lot because he wants my attention. I'll pull out my text. So if you only speak English, I'm just going to leave a brief comment. So they came from present day Uganda and different places. Got Laduong, which is a mountain they call Laduong. Some people know it as Patiha. They settled in Laduong and they fought a lot with other groups that were in that area. And in that day, back in the day, all groups tend to move around and migrate and fighting over territories. And when there was famine, they constantly moved and found new grounds and new territories to live in. And they didn't care if they were stepping over other people that were already in that area, just attacking and fighting other people. And they tend to be strong too. And in most cases, they won. They fought with the Atiak people. They fought with so many other groups, Payira. They won many battles and many fights, and sometimes they were able to solicit help from the Arabs in Sudan, and they would come and help them fight with the opportunity of capturing um, prisoners of war as slaves. Okay, um, so now they made it um, some of the groups, some of the subgroup of Bura was the Bura people who are now in present day Pajok. They are from the same group. They basically decided that they didn't want to keep fighting and moving around anymore. They wanted to find a home. So the Bura of Pajok settled in Pajok and stayed in Pajok while the Bura Chua people from present day Uganda stayed in Uganda, moved around through Palabek, Agoro and other places, fighting and looking for home like a home to settle in, looking for somewhere where they can actually harvest, looking for fertile grounds where they can raise families and stuff like that. And they became one with other groups that they found along the way, often because of issues with trust and having sufficient um, supplies and food for everyone. They often fought with the new groups that they found and either took over or ended up migrating um, throughout present day Uganda. Okay, so the Chua people can be found in many places in present day Uganda, present day the northern region of Uganda, where the Acholi people are. It could be found anywhere in Payira territories, Palabek or Pajule. No, I'm not. Yeah, present day northern Uganda, with other groups. They don't go by Bura; they go by different subgroup names now. Okay, but the ones in Pajok are still called Bura. They are a subgroup or subclan in Pajok, and we still call them Bura. Okay, we didn't give them different names, and they stayed unified and stayed as one group because they no longer wanted to fight. Again, you can find the Buddha people with what do you call it? Relation to the Buddha people. You can find them amongst other tribes in southern Sudan, including the Lokoya people, the Lokara people. You can also find them with other clans. They're also part of Panyakwara, but they're part of Agoro, part of Pajok, so they're everywhere, um, basically. Okay, so I'm going to end here. It was a very long reading, guys. Tomorrow I will start reading about a Bolto, and it won't take us long because a Bolto is pretty short. I'm so thankful for you guys for watching and supporting this channel. Please like, comment, share, follow us on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Apply my tech. Follow us on Facebook. Our Facebook channel is Chaka Leb Acholi. Um, and my personal Facebook is Chage Kang South Sudan. I'm on TikTok as Chage Kang South Sudan as well. Thank you all for following. Apo Aun Tech. Please, if you'd like to be a guest or leave comments about Buddha or the Buddha people, their origin, where they settled, which groups they are now part of, please leave your comments, send me DMs or private messages. And Apo Aun Tech. You guys have a good night, and I'll read again tomorrow on Ovolta. Thank you, and have a good night. And excuse my son for making so much noise. Okay. Good night.